has been very popular and very traditional with the male and the female body parts especially coming together, that creates creation in the form of a human child, and so therefore another opportunity for a human soul to enter the body. As this evolution of Shakti energy becoming more accessible, we'll say that again. In the New Earth timelines, our advantage is that Shakti energy, creation energy, is becoming way more accessible. It does not take the union of binary parts anymore. Randy's going, really? Are you going to say parts again, again, again? And we simply want to acknowledge there's a sacred element to the body parts, of course, but we're going to use that term, genitalia. And so the New Earth is providing an opportunity for human souls to come in and choose a different form of creation. From our vantage, and like we said, our vantage is a little out there, there are creative aspects of consciousness that from our metric is just as powerful as creating another human body to house a soul. From our vantage, there is soul to works of art. There is soul to service. There is soul to carving out a home. There is soul to planting a tree. There is soul to so many creative acts of consciousness that creating another human body to house a soul exists mostly on a dimension where physical experience in a human body is prioritized. And we would say that the spectrum has swung a little bit to the overpopulation, yes? So that, in other words, those that are really prioritizing physical existence keep creating more opportunity for physical existence. And that timeline will continue. We would say that most people in this room, not all people in this room, are choosing a timeline where we no longer need to create the physical bodies for human souls in order to honor and in order to cherish Shakti energy. So with that, again, we have opportunities for non-binary creation. We have opportunities for solo creation. We have opportunities for partnerships that may be multiples, but we have opportunities to recognize the power and the impact of Shakti energy directed into an intense focus. We are talking orgasmic focus. We are talking world and life shattering focus that usually comes from body parts. We would say the same sort of pivotal and powerful creation between two people, between three people, 4, 5, 6, the number can expand. But we would say there are many timelines of the New Earth where creation of a human body becomes very select, very much about a soul contract. And we would say that there are many civilizations out there, many intergalactic civilizations out there, including many of your Earth timelines, where the bringing in of a human soul through a human body is very selective and a group decision, not to remember what non-duality is through the polarization of male and female. So we want to offer a vision of family, of the village mentality. Many ways that nature reproduces will become more popular for humanity, potentially. We see many timelines. And so therefore, those body parts, the genitalia, the sacred coming together, is done as a group decision. So in other words, we see many ceremonial acts in your future where many people are choosing not to bear human children because they are so intensely choosing the Shakti manifestation in other ways. So this is not to belittle the growth of the human race. It is to say that there are timelines where balance becomes more popular and the decision of a group consciousness, group commitment to raise a child becomes popular. So in other words, it may not be an act of passion to remember we are one. Oh, we're pregnant. Okay, this is what we do. It be more of a group contribution of passion. So this happens in many, many different ways. It may happen that a couple decides to conceive and they ask the village to send them energy in the same way that a woman giving birth is popular today. For a woman giving birth, for you to light a candle, for you to send love her way. This can happen. There are many cultures that will, from our vantage, will choose a more private experience where that duality is still honored in the privacy of the man and the woman, choosing to be the surrogates, if you will, from a village consciousness. So it can, one stage of that is the blessing. We're asking for the blessing. We're asking for your own version of Shakti. This can be any way that you get into your own sexual energy. And again, we're going to do this evening because part of what is happening in the evolution is unstigmatizing a personal experience of Shakti energy. So we can have a village contributing, sending it non-physically, because Shakti doesn't need bodies. Shakti can travel. Then the couple conceives, and then the village has contributed their energy to that life. The human soul will then look around to everyone who has contributed and say, hello, I recognize you. Hello, I hold a part of you in me. That is one version or one cultural way that reproduction may happen. Another cultural way is that it does become very orgy-like. In other words, the couple, the surrogates are there, but people are enjoying their bodies and each other. So there is a sense of openness and freedom. There is a unstigmatizing the taboo of nakedness, of parts of pleasure, of self-pleasure or group pleasure. But again, the intention is Shakti energy, welcoming in a new soul. So again, that soul looks around and says, I remember you. You are my family. I recognize your commitment to be here with me. So there's a whole range again of how that creation of a remembering what it is to be one does not have to be secluded to a potentially traumatic experience or a limited experience. So again, we have no judgments here. We are just saying traditionally it's been about physical, and we would say there's a lot that's been acknowledged already tonight. There has been a lot of blundering in that vibration. It is not spoken about. It is not acknowledged. So in other words, the human bodies are choosing a vibration of, I'm not going to remember. I so don't want to remember that it's going to be the craziest experience of blundering together and creating life. And so many of us are products of that blundering. We want to acknowledge that that's a choice. That's a vibration, and much of it will remain on the earth. In other words, the spectrum that we see on the new earth is we can still hold those people, those cultures who have chosen to come. We say blunder with humor, not with judgment. Chosen to blunder, produce more human beings, as many of us have been produced, or many of our forebears have been produced, to the range of consensual, committed creation and surrogates creating life where that child can look to anyone in that room, whether that person has had a male-female body part interact or not, through personal choice, and say, you are my mother, you are my father, you are my mother, you are my father, you are my guardian. Maybe that person doesn't even want a gender identification. You are my teacher. You are my soul mate, welcoming me into this world. Let's take a breath. Anybody else got goosies? Randy's got goosies.